So this is our first show of 2023.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us here. Welcome to the Curly Hair Q&A show. Show number 236. Can't believe we've gotten that far along. So are you guys ready for the Diva Curl giveaway that's coming up in 2023? Oh, you forgot about that, right? Yeah, Diva Curl giveaway in the Curly Hair Q&A show. We're going to give away a year's supply of Diva Curl products to one lucky winner. And maybe two lucky winners. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But
Is
anyway.
it me and Jess? I thought you were talking to us. There's two lucky winners here.
No. All right. So the giveaway is over. But anyway, so
yes.
Welcome to the 2023 edition of the Curly Hair Q&A show. And things are going to change this year. I'll give you updates as we go on over the next several weeks about when that giveaway is going to start and what you're going to have to do. You know, that's what we forgot to do is get a dump button for Melanie's cough. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. Don't.
But the more I talk, the more I need to cough.
Right. She doesn't have the vid. She's got a sinus infection that's.
I'm at the end
leaking.
of it.
Yeah, that's.
I'm at the end of it. Just
that's
still,
why.
you know, where you have that nagging cough and just.
Yeah.
Drain it.
So she's going to be sure and turn her head every time she coughs, which is every time she opens her mouth. So, so get used to it. And
fun. Happy New Year. Here we are.
Yeah. So, we have a special guest tonight too.
Yes.
Are you guys ready for this? I think, you know what, because I talked about this earlier in the day and I announced it in a number of the curly hair groups, and I think people thought it was going to be Madonna.
Close.
Which is close. It's
you kind of look
okay.
like Madonna.
And our special guest is from Michigan, which is where Madonna is from.
That's true. Yes.
You're kind of like a virgin.
And where and that's where Madonna's daughter goes to college.
Nice.
University of Michigan.
Yes.
Yep, she's a Wolverine. So,
wow.
Anyway.
Cool.
So, yes, we have a special guest. Melanie's superstar assistant, Jessica's here tonight to join us. Hopefully she'll be joining us even more. So feel free to, we can't do that tonight. I was going to say, feel free to ask her questions, but we'll have to save that for next week.
Oh, I thought you were going to have your computer so you could see them.
I was going to, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that a little later. So,
okay.
Anyway, a bunch of announcements. All right, let's get through kind of the boring stuff. Exciting stuff, but boring stuff. Yeah. So yesterday, our curlclub.com launched. Woohoo!
Woo! I don't have my blower and I can't yell.
Yeah. Where's your thingy? Your whatever you call that thing. Oh,
my party favor.
Can you imagine? You'd be coughing. Yeah, it'd be a mess. Anyway, yeah, our Curl Club, wholesale to the public every day. That's our new project that I'm sure a lot of you heard about. We launched it yesterday. And as I said from the beginning, we did a pre-launch sale on it on Cyber Monday. Said we were going to limit it to the first 1,000 people that signed up and joined. And then we'd have to cut it off. And I didn't really explain why, but the reason we cut it off here, I'll explain it this way. So a couple of days before the launch yesterday on Sunday, we hit our limit. And I announced it in a number of the groups that, I'm closing down memberships. And people were furious. And they were furious because they had been waiting because they wanted to see it launch and they wanted to see people buying first before it, right? Because they wanted to make sure it was legit because it seems really unlegit. Especially when it's promoted by a guy like me. But anyway, that's another story. Let's move on from that. But pretty shady. But so they didn't, and they didn't realize that we were going to hit the limit before the actual launch. Oh my God! Hey, and I wanted to be kind of snarky and say, hey, snooze you lose, right? I could tell it wasn't the proper. Wouldn't have been the right response.
You got nasty messages already. Would have got more.
I get nasty messages every day anyway. But yeah, I got some feedback about that, and but I said I didn't know when we were going to open up membership again, and the reason is because we have to make sure that we've got enough product, and we got to kind of feel out what people are going to order and how much they're going to order and whatever. You get to buy at wholesale prices every single day. Same price that like Ulta pays, your salon that you go to pays, all the beauty big box stores, Amazon, whatever. Same price as they pay. And you get free 2-day shipping. So anyway, I'll keep you posted on that, and I'll let you know when it's going to open up again. I don't know. I've got maybe 2 open spots right now, but I'm going to keep them that way. So,
Okay.
but we'll see. So anyway, that happened yesterday. So that was kind of a big announcement. We'll let you know how that goes, and we'll see. Hopefully that works my guess is that's going to work out really well for you guys. You get to buy wholesale. I mean, what else can you say? Plus you get to visit with Melanie once a week at least at her salon with her new setup as soon as it gets set up. Her new setup, and
Well,
you'll
they
be able
don't
to
come
interact
to
with
the
her.
salon.
No, but you'll be able to interact with her live on video, and she'll be able to look at you and tell you what to do and what not to do and whatever. So anyway, it's exciting, and it's going to work out really well for you, and I hope it works out really well for us too. So
Okay.
I can retire. But anyway.
Oh, see how that works so he can retire.
Right. So I've got a bunch.
I have to keep working.
I got
so
a bunch
he
of
can
questions.
retire.
I got a bunch of questions that came in that actually came in. We haven't done a show. We missed the last 2 weeks because of the New Year, and then I was traveling, and then you were sick, right? Is that how it was?
Well, you were gone.
Helen was gone.
Yeah, Helen
that
was
was
gone,
it.
but it worked out good because I was really sick.
We wouldn't have
last
did it anyway. Yeah. She was like bedridden sick.
week. Yeah.
So we didn't do the show, but so I've got questions from the previous show and whatever, and a bunch of them, and we'll go over those. So why don't So Melanie or Jessica, why don't you introduce yourself, or Melanie, why don't you introduce her? Tell us a little bit about. Tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, and so we all know who you are, and then and here's something you don't know that everybody else who comes to the show every week knows. For a month I've been trying to give you your Christmas present, and you're going to get it tonight.
So you do know that I watched the show, right?
No, I did not. I didn't think anybody did.
I do. So I've heard that there's something if I ever decided to come.
That's the only reason she came. I
It's
knew it.
Absolutely not.
No.
That's not.
Oh my gosh. Well, are you asking me to
Either one of
introduce
you,
her?
if you want to, however you want to do it.
Well, you guys always hear me talk about my assistant and friend Jessica, and so I'm super excited to have her here with us tonight because we're just we're so fun. We're kind
One
of
of these things is not like the other.
No, people think we're twins. Yeah,
mean-
that's why we had to just cut her hair because they can't tell us apart.
Right. That'll be
Right.
the key difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So, Jessica, you can tell your story. How did we meet? We talk about this all the time in the salon.
Or how did you end up in the beautiful, how did you end up at the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida? How did you end up there?
So I
Every
was
single day of your life.
yes. Well, I'm there every single day of my life by choice now.
Yes.
But to get to there, I just needed a curly hairstylist. I needed somebody who could cut my hair that I wouldn't leave in tears after a haircut that wasn't correct.
Yeah.
So,
So she started coming as a client. You found me. You looked up curly specialist.
yes, and I did not think you were in my area. And so I just kind of researched you. And then one day I realized you were in Naples, which is relatively close to me. And I thought,
Were you cyber stalking me?
no, I didn't know you yet. So I called and you answered the phone and I scheduled an appointment with you. I don't know how that happened,
It was fate.
but I scheduled an appointment and then that's been years ago.
Yeah.
And then I was just a client for maybe a year or two.
No, I think we said 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years-ish.
And then I just asked you if you wanted some help. And here I
She
am.
felt sorry for me because I was alone. We never figured that out.
I don't know how that was the case. I don't know if maybe it was an evening. I don't know what it was.
No, you never came in the evening.
I don't think so.
Melanie
don't
does
know.
like to work alone. I'll tell you that. She likes to work alone.
Yeah, but Jess approached me after I did her hair and said something like, why are you here by yourself? And, do you need help? And I was like, are you offering to work? And she said, yeah.
Yeah, I was at the point in my life that my children didn't need me so much anymore, and I needed some girl time. So, what a better way than a hair salon?
Yeah,
So you shed a tear and moved on, right?
I didn't even cry.
never looked back.
No,
I told her the door's closed now. But
now I'm trapped.
yes, now
Yeah.
she's trapped. That's
You
what
can
happened.
check out anytime you like.
I don't think so.
You can never leave.
Yeah, so it was kind of funny because anyone who knows me, like I really have people go through an intense interview process. It's typically like 3 interviews with myself, with Ken, with somebody else. And so I asked Jessica to send me her resume, and she's like,
I said, well, you can ask my children. I hadn't worked in 18 years. I had been home with them.
yeah, she didn't have a resume. So I thought, oh my gosh.
Pushy, demanding, whatever.
Yeah.
Melanie said, perfect.
We're off to a great start. But we just kind of agreed to, give it a try. And I said, if it doesn't work out for either one of us, if you're not happy or I'm not happy, let's just remain friends and clients. And, that's that. And 3 years later.
Yeah. In March, it'll be 3
Yeah.
years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get to see everything. You get to see all the clients. You get to interact with all the clients. You get to see all the befores, all the afters.
It's
so
my
you get
favorite
to,
part.
Is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So tell us about that. Tell us what that's like. I mean, do you get people that come in, first curly cuts, maybe had haircuts before but not happy, that do you get people that come in that, because you're the first point of contact at the salon, so do you get people on that are what's the word, it's not trepidatious, it's
There's definitely hesitation.
like a little hesitation? Does that happen? Do you see
Yeah.
that they look around kind of like
Yeah, and they don't know. They feel like, I don't know, I'm going to give her a shot. I'm going to see how it works out. And I always tell her, by the end of the appointments, people, their attitudes, not attitude, but just their demeanor is kind of changed because they kind of melt into the chair and they trust her.
yeah, like that energy.
Yeah, and
You can see it a lot in the before and after videos sometimes when she does them.
Yes.
You can see it.
And I have never once, and this is true, had anyone, when they're done, be less than happy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fun. It's fun to watch it.
Yeah.
I tell people about that all the time about, I'll see people that, like, say, for example, they'll buy Raw Curls products. They've never used them before. They use stuff off the shelf at Target or Ulta or whatever. And they'll use it one time, and then I'll see them post that this stuff just doesn't work for me. And I'll tell them, I'm like, well, wait, look at the instruction card, give it some time. And trust me, we get thousands of curly-haired women that come through our curly hair specific salon every single year, and every one of them leaves beautiful and happy. I can't see
Yeah.
that
I
you're
was
going to
the
be
same.
Sometimes they don't even let me finish the whole haircut. They're like, I'm not even done. And they're like,
is great. Don't
I
touch
love it. Yeah. And I'm going, how many times have we had that happen?
Oh.
And I'm like, don't you want me to wash and style? No, it's perfect. Just like this. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay. Yeah. And how about, we were just talking about this. Remember, we had 1 or 2 people like walk in and just look at me. And what did they say?
They said, I think you look like you know what you're doing.
I'm like, okay.
And then they would book an appointment and just like look at her, kind of give her the up and down and say, okay, I trust you. And I think that's just funny.
Well, yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, I don't know.
You do have that look though. Yeah.
I can't wait till she gets ready to retire, because we're going to reenact the episode from Will and Grace, when Grace waits like 6 months to get that appointment with that hairstylist in New York, and he walks in and he whips the drapes open and looks at her and says, I'm just not feeling it today, and closes them and walks away, and she's like, what?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We're going to do that like all day.
Sometimes we mess with people. It depends on who you have. Not a new person necessarily, but some clients you can joke with more than others. But we just have a great time all day, just laughing, and we have so much fun. But sometimes like even on Jessica or a client, I might just take one snip, and I'm like, well, I did that to you the other day. I took a snip, and I was like, okay, $300, please. And they're like, okay. And like, I'm serious, but like I literally might need to just adjust one little cut, So it's funny. But yeah, anyway, we have a great time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's her favorite. I think you always say, like, watching the before and afters and the transition of people, especially those ones that are nervous. But
Yes.
that's what I love about having Jessica there, because I'm not the only one that's calming. They love to talk to her. She's great at telling them her experience, and saying, I've been through this too. I've, gone through all the things like you have. And you tell them about, your bad experiences in the salon, and they start to, feel more comfortable. And she's always like, you can totally, trust the process, and you're going to look great. And so sometimes she's talked people down off a ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. The whole environment is just fun, and watching people get transformed is the most fun. for sure.
Yeah.
And it happens always, all the time.
They're rubbing it in, Helen. Well, Helen and I are going to lunch on Wednesday, so there.
Oh, well, okay.
So there, we are. So there.
What are we rubbing in?
That you guys have so much fun and we work.
Oh,
We work, don't get done. No, we definitely work.
We do have fun.
yeah, we're working while we have fun.
That's right.
No.
Sometimes we even whistle while we work.
Yeah, I was
do
just
you
going to
really?
say, uh-huh.
Helen and I solve the problems of the world.
Oh, well, that's...
Anyway, oh boy. Okay, let's do a couple questions. Melanie, hey, I have really curly, coarse hair, and it's so dry I can't seem to get enough moisture into my hair. Any tips on what products I can try? Well, moisture is water, so hydration's a big thing there.
Yeah, so, there's a couple things that go along with that. Definitely the proper styling technique. If you're not letting the hair be wet enough where it's, dripping wet before you apply your products. I find a lot of people when they come in, they're having similar issues and they're like, oh, I plait my hair or I wrap a towel or a turban around it first. Well, you don't want to do that because then you're taking out all that water that you want to put into your hair and seal in with the gels and the styling products. Then your choice of products is going to make a difference, like the Raw Curls conditioners, the 007, the new, conditioning treatment that we have. Those are all very moisturizing products. Now we have a new, in the Vault line, we have a spray repair. That's a leave-in conditioner. So, but a lot of times, like in the winter, like the dry times of year, a lot of times I have somebody add a conditioning treatment. Like that's kind of their missing link because they're not doing those at-home treatments, and that'll make a big difference. But yeah.
Okay. That I think that's a pretty big help. Oh, I got to throw this out there. And if you're watching tonight in the Our Curl Club group, this won't matter to you because you guys already know. But hey, to the rest of you, there's 2 brand new Raw Curls Vault products coming out on Friday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys are going to love them. You're going to love them. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
But that'll be Friday.
Lots of surprises.
Yes, lots of surprises. If you're in our Curl Club, the launch yesterday, you already saw. So you already know.
I
Don't
think I
tell
need
everybody.
to join.
What?
I think I need to join. I want to
There's
know
no
what
spots.
this stuff
There
is.
was actually 2, but I'm holding them back for,
Okay.
so.
Well,
Do you
hopefully
know-
I have the inside scoop and I'll figure it
You
out.
could have the inside track. You know why I have 2
You got
two
connections.
spots?
Why?
2 people were naughty and couldn't treat the host with dignity and respect.
Not good.
So there's now 2 open
boy.
spots.
Okay.
Yep.
That's one of the things that we are going to talk about with customer service.
We're gonna talk. We'll talk about that next week.
Oh, next week.
Yeah, unless you want to talk about it this week, we could talk about it this week, but it's up to you.
I thought that was part of tonight's show.
It could be, but yeah.
Do you want me to
Just because you're giving us money doesn't give you the doesn't allow you or give you the right to treat us without dignity and respect. Is that a good way to put it?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, yeah. Just be kind.
Be kind.
It's free to be nice.
It's free to be nice. It doesn't cost anything.
That's right.
You know what else doesn't cost anything? A smile.
It's free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody loves free.
Yeah.
Everybody loves free. That's it. If it's free, it's for me. So anyway, so maybe I'll give you one of those 2 spots. Maybe not.
Okay.
We'll see. I kind of like having them sit there, because it's kind of like I could taunt people with them.
Gotta be nice, Ken.
Yeah,
right,
be
exactly.
nice.
As
You're
I'm just giving a lecture about it would be nice to me.
Right.
And I'm talking about how I'm going to taunt people.
Gotta be nice.
God. Unbelievable.
Oh my God, my life. Okay, Melanie, I've been using Diva Curl products for over 15 years. Not sure what's in the new green bottles. I looked at them yesterday. We stopped at Ulta like we do every Sunday. Except we stopped at a new Ulta that we haven't been to before. I was playing with the little green bottles for $12 for a little bottle like this. If you're in our Curl Club, yeah, you're getting cleanser that's not this big for pretty close to that price. But anyway, I'm not sure what's in the new green bottles, but it is not the same. You are correct. Tracy, you are correct that it's not the same. There was a reformulation that happened probably about a year ago. They are different. Whether it's better or not better or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of debate about that, especially in the Diva Curl groups online. And I guess that's like anything. It all depends on the individual. It depends on your hair. It depends on what you like, what you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably 50-50. Which it was probably 50-50 with the original, right? I returned those and now will only buy the original white bottles if I can find them. I guess until they run out. Melanie, what do you suggest for products?
Well, I mean, of course, I'm going to suggest the Raw Curls product.
Well, I wish she would have said specifically,
Yeah.
right? If she would have said, I'm using this, and this, because then you could say.
Yeah. I don't, but.
That's hard.
Yeah. It's hard without knowing what their hair is like, the curl type, what they're using.
Yeah.
But I know, they came out with a ton of products after they were bought out the last time. And
Yeah.
so there are a lot of new things. I haven't honestly used them since that. I hear most of my clients, there is a few that use Diva products still, but and they're still happy. But most of my clients are on the Raw Curls. So I mean, it's just easier for me to be able to suggest those. I don't really.
Yeah, I wish you would have. Actually, Tracy, I'll go back and I'll look where you posted your question. If you're watching tonight, just put on there what you're using now, and then I'll bring it up again next week, and then Melanie can go through. I think it'll make it a whole lot easier and be a whole lot more helpful. But
I mean, as far as like she's making that comment about finding the white bottle products, those at some point are going to be old and expiring. So even if you're getting, the old version of the products, there may be some issues.
yeah, there might be.
Yeah,
I talked about this. I don't think I talked about it on the show. I talked about it somewhere else about how I noticed it showing up somewhere in one of the big box stores. And I saw a bunch of stylists that were saying, hey, stay away from that. That's old. It's got to be bad and whatever. And I was looking at the bottles, and I know the characteristics because I'm in the industry. I know the characteristics of a bottle that gets old that has products in it. I know what it does, and at pretty much at what times it does it, or ages, I should say. I believe that Diva Curl, and this is very common. This isn't just them. I believe Diva Curl probably had a lot of leftover packaging when they did their packaging switch. And rather than throw away a couple $1 million worth of already labeled bottles, because that's how it goes in the industry, you label the bottles, typically and fill them after that. That's at the bigger levels. That's how it's done. Yeah, my guess is that they're using that stuff up, and that's why they're putting it in some of the bigger discount stores. Not that it's old. They're trying to get rid of the packaging.
Yeah, that could be.
So
that could be.
Yeah, so I would, and I know Diva Curl doesn't do this a lot. A lot of times they don't put expirations on the bottom. We don't either. But yeah, don't be totally afraid of those white bottles. God, I wish I could give you guys a better guidance to it, but
yeah,
not
it's
always.
hard to say, because then I don't know, because we did see some in an Ulta store once that were not good. Remember?
When I brought that up and I posted those pictures, boy, did I get bashed.
Yeah. So I mean, it's.
So I'm not talking about it.
Everyone
anymore.
has every product has an expiration, so
So do we.
Yeah.
So do
Yeah. So whatever. I mean, you take your chances. That's all we can say.
You take
with
your
any
chances.
product,
Yeah. All right. Melanie, I love your work. Do you have any stylists trained by you in Alberta, Canada? I don't know. Maybe.
Where's Alberta, Canada?
I don't know. I didn't have a chance to look at any of this stuff before we started the show. I'll find out. But I will say this. I know we have stylists trained about an hour from the Toronto YYZ airport, right? Because Melanie and I just talked about that today. We know we have stylists trained there. I can't remember the cities. God, forgive me. I swear I'll bring it up next week again.
Yeah,
but I'll
we
tell
do
you
have
where.
people in Canada.
But Canada's a big country, so I'm not sure where Alberta is, and I don't know.
I don't know.
The only
geography.
thing well, I was going to say the only thing I know about like targeting Canada is hockey teams. So, but anyway, but yeah, and also, yeah. So I know we have stylists trained about an hour from Toronto, from the Toronto airport, but we're going to have probably about 10 more trained last week of April. Is that right? Yeah, we're having a Raw Curls Academy, Curl Institute 2-day workshop. Melanie's training up a bunch of stylists at a salon about an hour from Toronto.
Do you know the name of her salon?
Not off the top of my head.
Oh
Darn
my
it. I'm
gosh,
sorry.
Ken.
I literally just got my pages here.
You need a notebook.
I'll have it next week.
Yeah, he needs a notebook with highlighters.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
With a kitty on it.
No,
Like
no.
like we got
Yeah.
for Helen.
Yeah. So you can take notes.
Right? You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, but you talk to her all the time.
I forgot I didn't look at this. So I didn't realize that, for those of you guys that have been around our show for a long time, you know that that's how we've done the questions for the longest time is I'll print them off, won't read them, and I don't give Melanie a look at them, so we get her real answers, because I hate those kind of things where they have Q&As and they're answering the question before the person asking is even because they've already thought it out for the last 2 hours. Yeah, so we leave Melanie clueless, so she goes and has to think about it. But anyway, so yeah, I'll let you know about Alberta, but I know we're gonna have a bunch just outside of Toronto. So
Okay. All right. Cool.
God, if we have anybody trained in Alberta and you're watching this, please forgive me. I'll make it up next week. I promise I will. So should we give Jessica her Christmas present?
No, not yet.
We're gonna make you guys wait till the end then. Okay. And if you're watching this or listening to this on podcast and you're in our Curl Club, you're gonna want to hang around to the end of this because this has something to do with you, gals, ladies. All right, Melanie, can you give refresh tips for fine hair that doesn't hold after sleeping? Or Jessica, would you like to give some tips about?
It's nice to have Jessica give tips, and I like listening to her talk to people because she has a different perspective than me. Because she comes from the perspective, she's not trained as a stylist. She's a client, and she's a customer, and she's like one of you. So she sees things differently. We definitely have a different perspective when we look at something. Like my mom's highlights, to me, I'm highlighting her hair and Jessica sees flames, so it's fun, but that's what I like because people can relate to her.
Well, Jessica, I don't know who your colorist is, but boy, your hair color is on point.
I have a great one. I'll give you a card.
Good, thank you.
Do you have one of my cards?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I do.
Anyway, so all right, so your tips for somebody give some tips to this woman for her fine hair, refreshing because it doesn't hold after sleeping.
Well, first I would have to say that I don't refresh my curls. I wash my hair every day. So from that standpoint, I don't
Gasp.
I know.
Oh my.
She's been trying to train me for a long time, but
training.
I just can't. I wash it every day. But what I would say if you were in the salon, I would tell you that you should use the anti-frizz spray. And like Melanie, spray it in your hand, rub it in, and then just refresh your curls that way. I hear that is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you do it.
I
right?
don't. I have to be honest. I don't. I wash my hair every day, so I never have to worry about that part.
Mm-hmm. I wash my hair every day too.
We're trying to get her to change. But yeah, so and this is something that I talk about with people because, if you're using the right product, it's okay. They always ask me, how often should I wash my hair? And everyone's different. And so, Jessica's fine hair. We color, we highlight, so it goes through a lot. But she washes it every day and it's not dry. It's very healthy because she's using the right products.
Thank you.
Yes, because they're not coating. They're actually getting
they're not
inside.
drying it out, because that's what people, that's where that whole thing came from, went back. And it's kind of old information a little bit. Things change and evolve. We talk about that, but, people get stuck in that holding pattern because, the worry was back in the day when we had all the harsh detergents in the cleansers and shampoos, all the sulfates and everything that dried your hair out. So then we wanted to get away from washing every day. That's where like Win and Diva came up with their no poos, to wash with more conditioners, co-washing. All that business came from products being more harsh and drying. Now they're so different. Our products are so gentle. They're so moisturizing. There's nothing they're in there like drying alcohols or any product or ingredient that's going to dry your hair out. So if you feel like you want to wash your hair every day, it's okay. So that's good.
I know. I love it.
Right.
I'm glad that I have the ability to do that and not damage my hair, that it doesn't do anything. There's no negative side effects. I tell a lot of clients when they ask, because they'll ask you and then they'll ask me how I feel. And I'll say, we wash your hair as needed. It's different for everyone. I can't tell you how often you need to wash your hair. You have to make that decision based on how you feel it's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And now your hair is too short. You can't even put it up.
I can't. I know.
Oh, no.
Only half of it.
Oh, my gosh. You could still wear a headband.
Only half of it.
I could.
You have one
I do.
that you've never worn.
I don't.
Trying to get her to do that even. Since we're talking about cutting and making changes, why don't we show some of those pictures?
Helen, do you have
Because
pictures?
this was a week of chopping hair off.
Lots of if you're watching on if you're listening on podcast, you're not going to see this, but if you're watching on one, of
Yeah.
shows,
So,
and for those of you who are following our bird feeder bird bath debacle over the last few weeks, since we haven't been on the show for the last 2 weeks, we had a raccoon climb up and destroy
no,
Melanie's brand.
I think it was a squirrel. Now that I've seen him, he climbed up. I think I was telling Jessica on the way here, I think it was a
So
squirrel.
frustrating.
Because he figured out how to climb up the pole and climb down it. So probably his weight on that other birdhouse that was heavy, it just snapped the
The cord.
and it fell and smashed. But he's climbing up and he's constantly on the new one.
Constantly.
I have to go out there and
So the birds
shoo
are
him
like,
away.
they're all on the ground picking up the seeds that he's flinging
Yeah, he's like literally hanging upside down
and eating it.
and eating all the seeds on the birdhouse.
That's what he likes to do.
But I showed Ken the video with the squirrel and the slinky. I tried to get a slinky today.
Yes, we're doing that.
That's
And
a great idea.
Yeah, it's so funny. But all of a sudden, he walked away, and I said, because I watched at the very end of the video, the squirrel was like studying the slinky going up and down, almost like double Dutch jump roping.
And he
timed it perfectly. So he climbed up the pole just enough that where the slinky came down to, and then he shot himself up onto the birdhouse anyway. So he got up there, he figured out, he problem solved. It was crazy, like a flying squirrel.
Anyway, so yes, but the birds are using our bird bath and the bird feeder. It's just that we got to get rid of the squirrels. So anyway, all right. So go ahead. Let's get a look at some of these before and
Yeah,
afters.
because we had a
from this
really
week,
fun week. Everybody was in the mood for cutting all their hair off.
Yes.
including you, Jessica.
Yeah,
Yes.
including Jessica. It was contagious. So,
Where's Helen? You going to show us, Helen? There we go.
okay. So this is the first one that we started with. Yeah, she was the first one who started the trend last week. So she decided to just cut it all off, and she'd been growing it for quite a while, but she actually has her hair is pretty thick. So we took a good, probably about 6 inches off of her and just angled it slightly, did some light layers around the front just to give it some lift, and it made her look so much younger. Picked up the curls a lot. They were starting to get weighed down and not bounce up as much as they could. So that was that one. And then Jessica,
that?
Oh my goodness.
look at you.
So much better.
Yeah. So talk about it.
I don't know. It was getting very long and stringy. I felt like it was my security that I needed it to be long. And I finally decided I had to tell her, I want you to cut my hair off as soon as possible. And I had to keep telling her, like, I'm not changing my mind. Don't let me change my mind. And look at that. I think we made the right decision.
Yeah, it's fabulous. So same kind of thing. Her hair is very fine, even though she has high density, which means she has a lot of it, but they're baby fine strands. And everybody's hair, like I talked about in the video, if you saw it, gets to a point where it reaches a length where it starts to look stringy.
Is
And
that because it gets heavy?
no, it's just where I can't really explain why the ends start to look thin like that, but they do. I have to sleep on that one and be able to explain it because I don't really know the explanation for it. It just happens because
You'd
it's
have to sleep to be able to sleep on it.
yeah, but it's just old hair, and I don't know for whatever reason. Even my hair, like if it gets to a certain length, whatever it is for each individual, it just starts to those ends just get really, really fine and see through, and you can see that on her. Like at the very bottom inch of her hair, it's like it needs to come up at least like 2 inches, so you can see those really like thin strands of hair. And so, bringing it up, we didn't have to go as far as we did, but, it just bulks up the hair and it makes it look so much thicker and fuller. And it also, releases some of that weight. So it makes the curls bounce up. You can see at the top, it's almost straight. And she has more of that beachy, wavy hair. And then on the bottom, there's so much lift and more curl. And that was where she showed me a picture of where she wanted to be just above the shoulders like that. And normally, we had changed her hairstyle a while ago. She always had more of an angled from shorter in back to longer in front because she had security pieces that she just didn't want to let go. And so we worked on changing that style, and we did. And then she grew it out and kept it long for quite a while. But now it was time to make that change again. And again, it looks so great. It's just fresh. It looks younger. It bounces the curls up. It's fun. What did you say? It's really bouncy?
It's so bouncy. Like shaking my head back and forth is fun because it feels different. And, we had talked about the difference between my hair and your hair, how when your hair gets longer, it gets curlier. And when my hair gets longer, it doesn't. It kind of pulls the curl out.
Yeah.
So when you cut it like that, it definitely bounced up a lot.
Yeah, and it spiraled a lot more.
Yeah.
And your husband loved it?
He did.
Yay.
He didn't think he would. He told me. I don't know. But when I walked in the door, he told me that he thought it was very cute. So that's a wonderful compliment from your husband.
Yeah.
Good.
Did Chase say anything?
I haven't seen him yet.
Oh my gosh.
He's been working so much and I haven't seen him yet. So
Okay. We'll see if any clients notice. Now we don't look like twins anymore.
Now, what else have you got here?
Okay. So then
Wow.
yeah, this was something interesting because she was scheduled for a curly cut and color, and she had been traveling around Europe all summer, hadn't colored her hair. So she came in and then was indecisive. She's like, well, it's grown out this far. Maybe I should just, let it grow, let the color grow out.
Yeah.
And so I was starting to sweat because that's not what we had booked. I had her double booked with somebody, and I'm like, oh crap, And so we spent 15, 20 minutes consulting. And then I was like, now we have 15 minutes to do your hair. But it was just one of those things. I was explaining the options because that's what we need to, I like to educate people on this is what's going to happen if you do this. This is what's going to happen if you do that. And, I wasn't opposed to her growing her color out, but, she was asking if I can, people think that you can just kind of wash the color away that they have on their hair and then it's going to be their gray underneath. That's not a thing. That's not possible. You can strip the color that's in the hair and try to color it back to, and match to the gray that's growing out in the natural. But I would refer you to the guy in California. What's his name? You follow him too.
I don't remember.
He's amazing. But yeah, at $6,000 or more, and
all day.
9 to 12 hours. But he's amazing at matching. I can do it, but I mean, it's a process. And so in that process, I was explaining to her, regardless, you have to remove that color, which is going to be damaging to the hair. So, you keep trying to remove it and strip it and then recolor it to match the salt and pepper that you have or more of the gray. There's really, I don't know, I tell people there's really not such a thing as gray hair. It's either white or it's black and white, which gives the illusion of gray. So that's interesting, but that's where that salt and pepper comes in. And hers was more dark. So anyway, we just went around and talked about it. And, she really wasn't hip on, that process of removing and recoloring and all that. And so I said, the best option for you and a lot of people is just to cut it short. I said 2 haircuts, that color is going to be gone, So I said it, and then she was worried that her hair wasn't going to curl. It's just going to frizz up, cutting it short. And I said, I don't think so. I can, I can see that it's going to be really nice and it's going to look very, cute. She's a petite woman. And so after we've decided together, let's just go for it. And so that's what we did. We called the other client, asked if they could come later. We had a little change in the schedule and off we went with her hair. So we cut it into this cute, short little style. And she looks she actually looks like so much younger and it's fun. I think she might end up keeping it short because at first she was like, we can always, I can cut it off and grow it back in. And I'm like, you might not want to. This is going to be super low maintenance, super easy. And it looks great on her. Something else I wanted to point out on this picture, and we'll go back to the first one. But, we talk about the difference that color, the lighting makes in the color. And here you can clearly see the difference between, the pictures, same hair, same color, but she's standing or sitting in different places, or I'm turning the chair, or I'm standing in different places. And you can see how that makes such a difference in the hair, where sometimes it looks really warm and you see that, golden color. And then on the other ones, you can see where it looks more like a cooler, more gray, ashy color. So lighting is very important. How many times do we have people comment on that?
Oh, all the time. And the lighting and the angles, it all makes a difference.
All about the angles.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jess tries to teach me that. I'm not very good at it. We try doing different selfies all the time. We just went through that on Friday when we were trying to take our picture together. But if you go back to that first one with the gray hair, you can really see it in that picture too. I wanted to point that out. It was like the longer gray hair. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So you can see the difference there's such a difference between the way that I have the chair turned and where I'm standing taking the pictures.
Right. She's sitting in the same chair. We didn't move her. We just turned and from a different direction. It's very different.
Drastic. Like look at those first 2. They're all different. The first 2, the middle ones, and the end ones, because I'm standing on different sides of the chair, which I have different lighting behind me, taking those pictures. So that's so interesting to note and to see visually, because so many times people come in or they call or text me, from home, oh, my hair looks brassy, or, it looks really warm. And then they get in the salon and in my lighting and they're like, oh, it looks fine.
Yes, that's happened multiple times where they're like, wait a minute. Why is it different here?
Yeah.
It's going to be different everywhere. In every room of your home, in every place that you go,
Outside.
It's going to look a little different for sure.
Yeah, because a lot of people have warm lighting at home, so it's going to give off more of that warm look. But I'm glad I did that and had it set that way so people could see, because like you said, she's sitting in the same chair. I'm just walking around her, taking different, pictures from on the side and the back and then the other side of the chair.
And we didn't realize it looked that different until we looked at that picture.
Yeah. And so I kept it that way so that I could point that out, because that's really important for people to know and see how big of a difference it makes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that all you got?
Yeah.
At the end of it?
Yeah, that's all the ones that I sent to Helen.
Good.
But it was fun. Yeah, there was a lot of big changes this week.
Yeah, there's a lot. Let's do one more question, and then we'll give Jessica her gift, and then which will be a gift for everybody, actually.
Okay,
so excited.
Well, not everybody, a lot of people. Okay, this is a little longer question, but I think the answer will be relatively short. Melanie, I started the 10 easy steps to curl success. That's in our curly hair groups in the file section, you guys, if you ever want to see that. I started the 10 easy steps to curl success with using Raw Curls products yesterday.
Yay.
Clarified and deep conditioned, used anti-frizz spray and mousse while wet, scrunched a lot, diffused until mostly dry. Definitely a noticeable change in texture after one use. There you go. My hair feels a lot softer and lighter, and the curls waves are more defined. Main adjustment I would like to make is to tone down the volume. What can I do to be a little less big, quote unquote. Maybe less scrunching, but then will I lose on definition? Darker pictures, she took darker pictures at night after diffusing, and she sleeps with it up in a clip. Any suggestions?
That's interesting. I wonder what kind of curl type she is.
I don't know. She didn't say.
Because that's rare that you hear that somebody wants less volume.
Yeah.
Most people are, they want big hair. They want big bouncy curls. They want lift. They want, the top is flat. How do I, so that's interesting. But yeah, so that's easy to tone down curls. I've had that happen a couple times where, I flip them over to diffuse them and they flip up and it's like, whoa.
Yes.
Oh, which reminds me, I do have to show Jessica pictures. Somebody asked me to show when I talked about big hair, it reminded me. So yeah, toning it down is easy. Yeah, you could do less scrunching for sure because, those are things that we teach people how to get more volume, more, fullness in the hairs, flipping the hair upside down while you're diffusing it and scrunching it. So if you don't do that and you let it air dry, you're going to have more, flat controlled curls. But you can also, if you, style your hair and you're like, oh, it's a little too big and wild for me. That's where that anti-frizz product comes in. The Rock Curls anti-frizz spray is, your best friend. You can just spritz a little bit in your hand and just smooth it on over your hair, just to calm it down a little bit. And it'll just, take that fluffiness away.
Mm.
You could also use more of like the firm hold gel. It's going to give you more control. But yeah, the more you put your head upside down, the more you scrunch, the more you flip your hair around. Jessica likes to flip her hair all day long, back and forth. And sometimes
It's definitely bigger when
Yeah.
I flip it the other direction, for sure.
yeah, sometimes by the end of the day, the UPS guy, the hair.
Right.
Yeah. So, and we show people that, like, I mean, take your little headphones off and like show people if it's flipped one way, that's what it looks like. And then if you go ahead and flip it the other way, look at how much, fullness and
Oh,
body.
wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
So we love to do that. And it's like, well, that's exactly it. Everyone goes, oh, wow. Yeah. So as easy as that, you can just flip your hair to the other side and get more lift. But if you want less lift,
Yeah. Let me throw one thing in there as maybe a caveat, I guess. Would there be a difference for this person or anybody as far as air drying versus diffusing, or the amount of time that you would air dry versus the amount of time you would diffuse? Anything?
Well, I would tell them to completely air dry.
That's what I was going to say. Like for when you did my hair the other day and you diffused it, it was way bigger than when I do it because I exclusively air dry. I don't diffuse my hair, and it is much bigger and bouncier when it's diffused.
Yeah.
Melanie, I know that you do this when you wash your hair. Typically, is you will do it and then you'll leave the house wet, drive half an hour to work, and then diffuse it. What's the reason? Is that to get less volume, or is it just so you can stay in bed longer?
Yeah. No, it is actually.
So if you get a Tesla, we're going to need somebody who can diffuse you on the way in.
Just put down the
Or
windows.
you can diffuse yourself on the way in.
Yeah. We were just talking about Teslas on the way here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing shot off like a rocket.
She saw one. How fast
That was
they
the first time I had ever seen one. It went from 0
They're
to
pretty,
it was incredible.
they're pretty
My
picky.
hair will look like,
Right.
like what about Mary?
Think about it. You could diffuse on the way to work because they'll drive itself, right?
No, she just needs.
Self-driving.
I feel like so many people though, you diffuse your hair. That's one of the things that people say. Like it takes so long. I think they're diffusing too long.
Yeah.
When their hair's too wet, they're just diffusing.
Correct. So the reason I do that is because I like to teach people to have the hair be 50 to 80% dry before diffusing. If that's possible, I understand with some people's schedules it's not possible, so you have to adapt to what works for you. But best case scenario, let the hair set, let the curls set 50 to 80% of the way air dry. So it's setting that, it's locking those curls in, and then you flip your head upside down or diffuse, however you like to diffuse. for like 5 minutes. It's usually 5 minutes or less. That's what we call fluffing and puffing. So because it does fluff the hair and it softens it and it breaks down that cast in the hair. It helps to apply the heat. It gives you fullness and body. So it does a lot of things all together. But I personally don't like to touch the hair before it's set like that. And people, that's when they're always worried about diffusing, kind of like what you're talking about. They're like, oh, my hair gets frizzy. It's because a lot of times they're diffusing it too much, and when I do it, they're like, oh, I notice you're touching the hair a lot. They're scared for me to touch the hair. You hear that a lot, don't you?
You do, yes.
Mm-hmm. But I'm like, trust me, if it's a disaster, then I'll fix it. But I haven't had that happen yet because I have I have the curls locked in and set already. And then the Raw Curls products, the anti-frizz is activated as you're touching it. So it's okay to touch the hair now. I'm not saying that it's okay with every product, but with ours it is.
Right.
But,
especially that one.
Especially that one. So, that's the whole point, though, is to have that curl set in the hair already. If you're starting from dripping wet, then you're, diffusing it a lot longer. You're touching it more from that wet point. It's not. So I think that's where people get into trouble and they end up not liking diffusing their hair because it gets frizzy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've got a video and I'll see if I can post it in some of the comment sections this week. That Melanie shot a couple of years ago showing how she diffuses her hair. And there's a lot. There's like 20, 30,000 views on the thing. And I remember people commenting right away after we posted that video and said, I'd have a giant frizz ball if I touched my hair as much as she did. And I never put that together. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It's because she uses the Raw Curls anti-frizz spray. She needs to be touching her hair because that's what activates the molecule, the anti-frizz molecule.
And she only diffuses it for 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's already almost dry.
Right.
You're not doing it from dripping wet, which that's why I don't think I diffuse because I feel like I was doing it incorrectly and I got tired of it. I don't want to stand there for an hour and try to dry my hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Christmas present time.
Oh.
We got to wrap
big
this
announcement.
up. So here it is. All right. So if you guys are watching, you get to see this. If you're listening, you're going to have to listen to our commentating. So isn't that a beautiful
It is.
purple handbag? Well, this would be a handbag. What would this be called?
A tote.
A tote.
Oh, a tote. Just what you need.
I do.
Okay. Well, you've got
She's
this.
turning into me. It's true. The more you hang around with each other, the more you turn into each other. Or you become more alike.
We should take a picture of your tote now.
Oh, it's perfect.
She's got.
Yes. It's
My
perfect.
tote has gotten bigger and bigger.
I'll bet you there's as much space in the tote she takes to work and back every day as there is in the trunk of her car. I'll bet square footage. I'll bet.
I
keep
could.
the spare tire in there too.
I could.
She could.
I
She
could.
could put herself in there.
I tried to climb in and go for a ride and have Jessica right away. We're like, ooh, I could jump in there and you can pull me. This is what we do at work. And of course,
There's a warning label that says, no, ma'am.
do not
Right.
climb in the bag. And we're all about the warning labels
Yes,
now.
we follow rules for sure.
Yeah, because we almost ate. We almost
Right.
ate packaging. We make fun of people like how dumb to that they have to have these warning labels, but no, we're glad that
We
they
understand.
do. Yeah, because I would have gotten in the bag and she would have been pulling me, and we would have gotten in trouble.
Yes.
And this is why you want to book that flight to beautiful Naples, Florida to get your hair done.
Yeah, because it's entertaining.
Always fun. Yes. You're never going to leave bored.
Right.
No.
No,
Right.
we're like I tell people we're that this is why we're such a great team. We just work so well together, but we're kind of like Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock in The Heat.
Who's who?
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, let's open up this bag here and let's see what this present is. You're going to love this. You guys are going to love this. Open it up. Pull it up. Pull it
Okay,
up.
okay.
Let's see.
A bag,
A
with,
bag
within
inside
a bag.
A bag in a bag. This is
It's a
just
big
like
bag.
me.
It is. Right. Exactly. Get a look at that. It is an HP computer
Why?
with your name on it.
you.
She got a brand new laptop, a
Oh my-
nice one.
Do I get to use
An
it at work?
850.
Oh
which
my
is a really good one.
gosh.
It has
Thank
a name
Do you
on
get
it.
to use it at work? Well, funny, you should bring that up.
Is there a side note? Is there a
Yes,
little
because
asterisk?
starting at the end of this week, you people in our Curl Club will have a new customer service email that you can contact
Yay.
called support at ourcurlclub.com.
Okay, yeah, call me.
And there you go. No, don't call.
Well,
do not call.
why?
Email. Do not
Oh,
call.
email. Okay.
Email.
I don't know yet. You have to tell me.
That's what I'm telling
know
you.
the rules.
But
I don't know the
You
rules
got to
yet.
show. See, I even got
Oh,
her
I love
name
it.
etched on it. See that?
Thank you.
Isn't that neat?
Oh,
It
wow.
There's only one bad thing, and I'll tell you in a minute. Besides the fact that you have to work.
That's okay. I enjoy working.
Yeah.
That's why I come back every day because it's
Yes.
fun.
But
She's
anyway,
like the best customer service person.
I know. I got the same computer because I needed one. It's really nice.
Well, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. See, Merry
Yeah.
Christmas. So yeah, starting probably Friday, you'll be able to send your questions. Hopefully, you don't have a lot. Tuesday through Friday, between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Okay.
are the customer service hours for ourcurlclub.com.
Okay.
Support at ourcurlclub.com, and she'll be able to answer all your questions when you email her on this fancy new HP 850 computer.
Hey, thank you.
There's only one
welcome.
problem. I
No.
didn't realize until after.
What?
Open it up and you'll see. So when people are looking at you at work while you're working,
Oh, it's upside down.
I
You know
know.
what? I can make a new sticker.
I was going to say, does he secretly have a cricket machine? I don't know where he got that
I do
from.
not. I do
Oh,
not.
that's
What's a
okay.
cricket machine?
It's my machine that I can cut out like decals and make little.
Oh.
For
I can
crap.
cut out I can make a raw
So you
curl
could put
sticker.
You could. That would be cool.
I will.
So
I'm
Or
excited.
your, you can do our curl club.
Sure, whatever you want. You tell me
Yeah.
what to make, I'll put it on
well,
there.
you can.
Yeah.
It's your computer. You can
Okay.
have it. If you like the Jessica facing you, you can. Do
I
that.
think I like it
Isn't
facing
that
me.
nice? Oh, anyway.
Thank you so much. That
Yeah,
was very
so
thoughtful.
I told you guys you'd be happy.
It's a nice
So,
touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that. He surprised me. He showed me, so I wasn't part of that.
Oh, good job, Ken.
Yes.
Thank
you're-
you very
you're
much.
welcome.
And you spelled my name correctly. Good
Of
job.
course I did.
Perfect.
Yes.
I
So
love
there
it.
you go.
I have to show her. I want
She got a better gift for Christmas from me
Yeah.
than you did.
really.
Oh.
And then-
Well, I
and
do have to work though.
Right.
That's
the part of
true. That's true. So one of our clients, we were sharing stories about very tight curls, and we were telling Jessica how people didn't believe that her hair, was type 4 curls, and so she sent me pictures.
Oh my goodness. That doesn't even look like the same person.
I know. Do you know who that is, Ken?
Is that Weird Al Yankovic?
Oh no. It's someone you know.
No, it's a friend of ours. You crazy.
Oh, it's a friend of ours?
Yes.
Oh.
It doesn't look like her though. She
No, if you look close.
Is that Ellen?
Oh my goodness.
I can't tell
I
you.
would never
I
guess
don't have
either.
any glasses.
Really?
don't have
I
any
wouldn't
glasses.
guess no.
All right, here. Let me enlarge it. It's one of our best.
No way. Now I know who that is. Wow, has she got hair?
I know.
How did she get away with that in the military?
Can I show? Can I hold it up?
Yes, you
I
can probably
love it.
see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You
This
can
is
see
our,
it.
yes.
This is our good friend, one of our best friends,
Yeah,
and
Brenda.
our friend Brenda.
She does not look like that now.
Not at all. I would
No.
never ever guess.
Wow, I would have never
But
guessed that.
yeah, so she sent me her picture. I'm like, she looks so pretty. But
love
yeah, her hair is like, I told her she's catching up to me. Like, it's long now. I do keratins on her, and we smooth it out, after it grew back from her cancer and stuff. That's when she came to me. She was actually wearing wigs. And so we worked on her hair. And Jessica was commenting how pretty it is.
It's
and how,
so pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
The color is similar to her natural color when she was younger. But
Yeah.
anyway, she wanted me to share that.
Wow,
she,
it's big.
I know. Just
But
like
that
my
was the style.
like my shoulders. Check. I was like, this is so funny. I had no idea this looked like shoulder pads. Like, doesn't it look like I have shoulder pads? Like I bought this because it was like so
Do
warm.
you?
No.
It's really soft and
How
fuzzy.
How
yeah.
crazy! It's soft and fuzzy, and then I was all excited, and I put it on, and I was like,
Oh, it's just puffy up there.
It's
yeah.
puffy. It makes me look like a linebacker. Like I'm a football player. Like I have shoulder pads. No. And I got this recently. It's new.
I like it.
It's,
do?
It's
I do.
nice and soft.
I
and
don't
it's
think
okay.
it makes you look like that.
Really?
No.
I thought I wasn't even going to wear it because I'm like, it looks so weird.
No. It's fine. Wear it to work. Let's see what happens.
No,
Oh, boy,
it's
here
too
we
hot.
go.
I'll sweat.
All right, let's wrap this show
Okay.
up. We got to
Wrap
go.
it. It's a wrap.
So thank you, Jessica, for joining us.
Yes, we're so excited
we'll
to finally have Jess on the
yes,
show.
We'll
it's
see you
fun.
again next week. I suppose as long as we come bearing gifts. she'll
No,
keep
I don't
coming.
need gifts. I don't need gifts. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And hopefully I can answer all your lovely questions and make you make it easy.
Maybe.
Smooth.
Yeah, we're excited. We're
Maybe.
excited.
I
mean,
am certainly excited.
and people should be excited because
You should be. We're not going down that road. So thank you for joining us this week for episode 236. We'll see you next week, Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, same place.
we'll see what happens this
We'll
week.
see what happens this week, and have a
Great curly week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.